Nobody really knows how your life is going like you do. It's a sad thing when we spend day in and day out relying on our own strength to get through life. For whatever reason, it seems easier to put our hope in self rather than in others. Maybe it's because in the past our hopes have been dashed with disappointment in the people that surround us. So, I gotta ask, when situations come your way that rock your world, are you keeping that inside, or are you sharing it with someone who cares? Welcome to Backstage Pass. I'm Clinton Foppel. If you're a fan of LeCrae, you know that his heart is for redemption and letting people know that there's hope.
I think the world has a lot of definitions for hope. I think people think of hope, they think of something that they are anticipating. They're banking on something happening. And I think when you begin to bank on something, it becomes your hope. It becomes what you're anticipating. It becomes what you, in some senses, live for. And the great thing about the Bible is it says that Jesus is our living hope. So he's the real hope that we can bank everything on, and that there really is satisfaction. And so a lot of times we'll bank all of our anticipation on, money coming in, or dating that person, or getting this job, or getting the right outfit, or something along those lines. And none of those things are guaranteed. And so you put all your emphasis and your weight on something that's not really guaranteed. And so Jesus is guaranteed. He's really coming back. He really is real. He really died and resurrected. So he's our real hope. So we can bank everything on him. And if everything around us falls apart, he's going to be there. He's secure. So that's hope.
So, are the things that you place your hope in guaranteed? We don't like to think like that, do we? As long as it lasts for a moment, as long as it helps for a minute. I just need something to get me through this challenge.
I say the cousin of despair is apostasy. Is basically when you lose hope, you lose faith. So if you don't let your problems drive you to God, they're going to drive you away from God. And that's what problems are for. Consider it joy when you face trials of many kinds. They're there to drive you to God, to drive you to his feet, because he really can take care of you. I just remember being in school and having to deal with the fact that, my dad wasn't around, having to deal with the fact that I didn't have all the friends that I wish I had, having to deal with the fact that I wasn't the most popular kid, and, things just didn't go my way, and it drove me away from God. It drove me to do more things that were silly and that didn't make sense, and those things never really gave me satisfaction. And when everything kept letting me down, I was in such desperation, I just wanted to end it. I was just tired of living. But that's when somebody introduced me to Jesus and told me that I could drive this despair to the feet of Christ, and he would really remedy this. He would really give me peace. He would really give me hope. And years later, he still hasn't let me down. So.
Never let me down. It's so countercultural to hope in something that won't let us down. Friends disappoint, family turns their back. Is it possible that people will ultimately let us down at some point? Yeah. So then why do we look for perfection in the imperfect? Well, more on that with LeCrae right after this.
Got something on your mind? Then pull out your cell phone. Text 313131 right now and use keyword REMEDY to connect one-on-one with a RemedyLIVE Soul Medic. That's right, 100% anonymous. Your text goes straight to a RemedyLIVE Soul Medic standing by to chat with you. Share your struggle. Text 313131 right now, but remember, type Remedy in the message so we can start chatting. Remedy Live. We chat, we listen, we love. Check out The Reformatory with Ronnie Martin and Ted Cluck every Sunday night at 7 Eastern on RemedyLIVE.com for all the latest banter on books, music, and Reformed theology. And bring something nice to wear. Only on Remedy Live, your positive web station destination. We chat, we listen, we love.
Welcome back to Backstage Pass. We've been talking with LeCrae about where we place our hope. Before the break, I asked you why we look for perfection among the imperfect. People will always let us down because at our root, well, we're selfish. Now, not all the time, but eventually we'll be let down by someone not being there for us. Not so with God, though. He's beside you right now, desiring a dependence on Him. Thus, you choose to place your hope in God. Now, some will say, oh, I believe in God. Others might say they even obey.
We have to be careful. If I say my hope is in Jesus, right? I can fool myself into thinking that because my hope is in Jesus, as long as I'm doing these things, I'm living that out. As long as I'm obeying all these rules and regulations, my hope is secure. And really, that's not the right perspective. The right perspective is because my hope is secure, I'm obeying. I'm living out all these things. And so it's funny, when I was, a kid, my mom would always tell me to do stuff. Do this, take out the trash, fix this, do that. And it's just kind of like, oh my gosh. So I'm doing it, but I'm hating it in the process. I'm being obedient, but it's like, But now as an adult, if my mom calls me and says, hey, can you help me with this? Sure. Because now in hindsight, I appreciate how she's loved me, how she's taken care of me, how she's grown me up, and I can't wait to serve her. And I think it's the same with Jesus. In light of Him being our hope, in light of Him saving us and helping us and getting us through, of course we want to be obedient. Of course we want to live out everything He said for us. He's got our best interests in mind. So, sometimes you lose focus on what's most meaningful when you pursue other things. And so, James says, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because God is stripping you of false senses of hope, false senses of joy. So you're not holding on to them thinking, this is where my satisfaction is. He's saying, I remove these things so you remember it's me. So you consider it joy that I'm getting these false saviors out the way and clearing the path. So you say, oh, yeah, you. So consider it joy when you lose money, because you are trusting in money, not in me. I'm the real provider. Consider it joy when when you're in a relationship that goes sour for whatever reason, because He's letting you know, hey, your satisfaction is in me, not in him or her. And so, I'm grateful when I face trials if my perspective is right, because it reminds me, oh yeah, God, you're the one that takes care of everything anyway. You're my real joy and my real satisfaction.
Our definition of joy in this world is always based on self. It's conditional based on what we get out of the deal. But if God created joy, then I have a hard time believing that He'd create it to satisfy selfishness. That's just not in His character. Our God is a giving God, a loving God, a just God. So try this on for size. Joy is a response to the truth that God is in control. It's a reflection that God has a plan and that any storm that comes may do some damage, but will not have the eternal say over my future. I'm joyful simply because God is. Period.
Are you on the move and still want to chat? Give us a text, 260-577-CURE. It's from Remedy Live, your positive web station destination. We chat, we listen, we love. Check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/chatlistenlove. It's from Remedy Live, your positive web station destination. We chat, we listen, we love.
What's going on, family? This is LeCrae, and right now you're watching Backstage Pass.
Welcome back. We're so thankful for the role model and ambassador that LeCrae has been in the music industry. We asked him what he's passionate about.
Definitely all about redemption, all about rehabilitation. I think people need consistent rehabilitation of the soul. I've experienced it, even now, where you're going, doing, and you don't realize that your leg is fractured. You're like, oh, it hurts, I'll shake it off and keep moving, and it's like, no, it's gonna crumble underneath you if you don't stop and rehabilitate that. And so, and that's the same with our soul. It's the same with our heart. We don't realize that if we don't stop and allow the gospel and allow the word of God to rehabilitate us and to give us a proper perspective, that we're gonna fold, we're gonna crumble, trusting in ourselves and trusting in, anything other than Jesus. So.
When we trust in ourselves, we are so easily deceived. It doesn't take long before we hit hard times and then wonder why our life is falling apart with ourselves at the helm. We weren't created to be self-reliant. We need our God in control and the help of others to live this life on purpose and not by accident. So, how can we help? Why not drop by chatlisandlove.com right now and let us know your thoughts. Thanks to LeCrae for his time and love for God. Check out his music wherever you buy yours. And thanks to you for checking us out. We chat, we listen, and we love. Friend, you just had a backstage pass.